There is a type of food that appears almost silently in the kitchens of billions of people. It is not a main dish. It is not used to make people feel full. It is not mentioned as a major source of energy. Even its smell makes many people hesitant. Yet strangely, for thousands of years, humans have never removed it from their daily meals. Garlic has always been there. From ancient civilizations to modern kitchens, from the meals of workers and soldiers to simple family dishes, it does not need promotion. It does not need trends. It does not need to be called a superfood, and yet it continues to exist steadily, moving through time, geography, and the changing habits of human diets. What makes garlic special is not how much energy it provides or how long it can keep someone full. What has made humans keep garlic for thousands of years is something very real. The feeling that the body responds differently when it is present, that it provides a small but important advantage, especially during periods when people had to face heavy labor, illness, and harsh living conditions. We use garlic almost instinctively, chopped, crushed, sautéed, cooked together with other foods. Yet very few people stop to ask why such a small bulb with such a strong smell has remained alongside human history for so long. Not because of rumors, not because of blind belief, but because over time, people learned that garlic offers something the body needs. To understand why garlic still exists in modern life, we must first look clearly at what it is, and why it was once considered an important part of the human journey of survival. Garlic, with the scientific name Allium sativum, is a plant belonging to the onion family. On the outside, garlic is not particularly remarkable. A small bulb divided into multiple cloves, covered with thin, dry skin and carrying a very recognizable, pungent smell. Yet that simple structure hides a role completely different from most familiar vegetables. Garlic is not used to provide fullness. It is not a primary source of energy in a meal. Humans use garlic for a different purpose. Garlic is added to food to create an effect, not to replace the main ingredients. Just a small amount is enough to change the aroma, the eating experience, and the body's response. What makes garlic important is that it is more than just a seasoning. Very early on, humans realized that garlic has a direct influence on how the body functions. When eaten with other foods, garlic does not stand alone. It interacts with other components, creating biological responses that ancient people may not have named scientifically, but clearly recognized through experience. Unlike many vegetables that are judged mainly by freshness or sweetness, garlic has long been viewed as a functional food. It stands at the boundary between cuisine and health. On one side is the role of flavor, on the other is the feeling of protection and support for the body in everyday life. For that reason, garlic has never been seen as an unimportant extra. It appears regularly, playing a small but stable role. Looking back at the history of garlic use, it becomes clear that humans did not keep garlic simply out of habit, but because through many generations they learned that this bulb carries value far beyond its simple appearance. And to understand why garlic gained human trust so early, we need to return to where its story began. Within the context of the earliest civilizations and the very real survival needs of ancient people, garlic did not appear alongside modern kitchens or the organized culinary systems we know today. Its story began much earlier, when humans still depended directly on nature for survival. Archaeological research and historical records suggest that garlic originated in Central Asia, where harsh climates forced people to select plants that could grow resiliently, store easily, and offer clear benefits to health. From this region, garlic gradually followed human migration into other areas. In ancient communities, garlic was not cultivated only as a seasoning. It was preserved because of its practical effectiveness. The earliest users of garlic noticed that their bodies endured heavy labor, illness, and difficult living conditions more effectively. These observations, though not explained by science at the time, were enough for garlic to become an important part of everyday life. Around 3,000 years before the Common Era, garlic already appeared clearly in major civilizations. In ancient Egypt, garlic was not considered a luxury food. It was distributed to workers who built massive structures, including the pyramids. Egyptians believed garlic helped maintain endurance and protect the body from disease. This belief was so strong that garlic was recorded in ancient texts as an essential part of the diet provided to laborers. During the same period, garlic was also widely used in ancient India. In traditional medical systems, garlic was considered a food capable of warming the body and supporting overall health. From India and the Middle East, garlic continued spreading into China and southern Europe through trade routes and human migration. Each culture adopted garlic in its own way, yet they shared one common idea. Garlic was always associated with health, endurance, and human adaptability. One remarkable point is that garlic was never used only during times of prosperity. It appeared most clearly during difficult periods. When living conditions were harsh, food supplies were limited, and illness was common, garlic became a safe and reliable option. Easy to grow, easy to store, requiring little preparation and clearly affecting the body, garlic perfectly suited the survival needs of ancient people. Over thousands of years, garlic traveled with humans across continents. It was not replaced when new spices appeared. Instead, garlic blended into different cuisines and eating habits. That continuous presence was not accidental. It reflected a long process of selection in which humans preserved what truly worked. Yet the garlic we use today is not exactly the same as garlic thousands of years ago. To better suit farming, storage, and taste preferences, humans gradually influenced the way garlic was grown and used. And those changes shaped the modern garlic bulb that we recognize today. The garlic we use today is the result of a selection process that lasted for thousands of years. It is not purely a product of nature, but also a result of practical decisions humans made while farming and surviving. From the moment people began cultivating garlic, they unknowingly stepped into the role of shaping this plant. Early wild garlic varieties were small, extremely pungent, and sharply spicy. They grew slowly, were difficult to control, and varied greatly from plant to plant. Over time, humans gradually kept the plants that were easier to grow, produced larger bulbs, contained more cloves, and showed more stability across seasons. This process did not happen quickly. It unfolded quietly through seed selection, saving the best bulbs for the next harvest and removing the plants that performed poorly. One of the clearest changes involved garlic's smell and taste. Ancient garlic was far more intense and lingering than modern garlic. As humans began using garlic regularly in cooking, they preferred varieties that were more acceptable in aroma, less overwhelming yet still effective. This led to the diversity of garlic varieties we see today, from very strong types to those with milder flavor. Agriculture also played a crucial role in garlic's transformation. As farming systems developed, garlic was cultivated with the goals of easier storage, easier transportation, and stable yield. Bulbs with thicker skin, greater durability, and longer storage life were preserved. This allowed garlic to become one of the foods available year-round, less dependent on seasonal cycles. Human influence also shaped how garlic was used. From being eaten raw in survival contexts, garlic gradually entered cooked cuisine, combined with oil, heat, and other ingredients. Each method of preparation altered some of garlic's characteristics, from flavor to biological effects. Through experience, humans learned how to use garlic according to their needs. What is important is that throughout this entire process, garlic was never transformed into a completely different food. It maintained its core role as a supportive ingredient, used in small but regular amounts. Humans did not attempt to turn garlic into a primary energy source. Instead, they adjusted it to fit more comfortably into everyday life. Looking back, modern garlic reflects how humans interact with food in general, not idealizing nature, yet not separating from it. Garlic was preserved, adjusted, and refined over time because it met real human needs. And to understand this more deeply, we must look inside the garlic bulb through the discoveries of modern nutritional science. When looking at a nutrition chart, garlic may not appear impressive in the usual way. It is not rich in water like many vegetables, and it is rarely eaten in large quantities during a meal. Yet this very fact helps clarify the true role of garlic. It is not a food meant to supply energy, but a food that creates biological influence. In 100 grams of fresh garlic, the energy level is relatively high compared to many common vegetables. Its main components include carbohydrates, a noticeable amount of protein, and very little fat. However, humans rarely consume garlic in such quantities. In reality, only a small amount of garlic is needed to create a difference, because the core value of garlic does not lie in macronutrients, but in the active compounds it contains. The most important feature of garlic lies in its sulfur-containing compounds. Among them, allicin is the compound most often mentioned. Allicin does not exist in an intact garlic bulb. It forms only when garlic is cut, crushed, or minced. When the cell structure is broken, enzymes inside the garlic trigger a chemical reaction that produces allicin. This reaction creates garlic's characteristic pungent smell and also forms the foundation for many of its biological effects. Allicin is an unstable compound. It easily breaks down under heat and over time. This explains why the way garlic is prepared strongly influences its nutritional value. When garlic is used raw or minced before cooking, allicin has time to form and exert its effects. When garlic is cooked for too long, much of this compound diminishes. This is one reason humans very early learned to use garlic in different forms. Beyond sulfur compounds, garlic also contains important minerals that support body functions. Manganese participates in metabolism and helps protect cells from oxidative stress. Selenium contributes to immune function and thyroid health. Potassium supports fluid balance and heart activity. Calcium, iron, and phosphorus appear in moderate amounts, but still matter when garlic is consumed regularly over time. Garlic also provides several vitamins necessary for energy metabolism and nervous system function, including vitamin C and B vitamins, such as B1, B2, and B6. Although not as prominent as in leafy vegetables or fruits, these vitamins contribute to the overall nutritional profile of garlic, especially when it is used as a supportive ingredient in the diet. What modern nutritional science emphasizes is that garlic is not viewed simply as a source of isolated nutrients, but as a food with combined biological effects. The active compounds in garlic do not work individually. They interact with each other and with the body in subtle ways, creating small influences that accumulate over time. This is also why garlic is not used to solve problems instantly, but to support the body's stability in everyday life. When this nutritional mechanism becomes clear, it is easier to understand why humans have trusted garlic for thousands of years, not because it provides large quantities, but because it provides exactly what the body needs at important moments. From this scientific foundation, the real-life benefits of garlic begin to appear more clearly. When scientific knowledge is brought back into everyday life, the role of garlic becomes much easier to understand. Garlic does not create sudden change. It does not produce dramatic effects immediately. What garlic does is support the body slowly, steadily, and cumulatively over time. For the immune system, garlic is often mentioned as a familiar food whenever the body feels tired or when the weather changes. This does not come from blind belief. The active compounds in garlic help support the body's natural responses to environmental challenges. When consumed regularly in moderate amounts, garlic helps the body maintain a more stable defensive state, especially for people who are often busy, sleep less, or live under constant pressure. For cardiovascular health, garlic is seen as a gentle but persistent supportive component. In the context of modern diets that often contain excess salt and fat, using garlic regularly in cooking helps balance some of the burden placed on the circulatory system. This influence does not come from a single mechanism, but from the combined action of multiple biological compounds in garlic, gradually affecting blood pressure, blood vessels, and lipid metabolism. Garlic also shows an interesting connection to bone health and the musculoskeletal system, particularly for adults and older individuals. Some observations suggest that regular garlic consumption may help maintain bone density, especially during stages when hormonal changes begin to occur in the body. While it cannot replace balanced nutrition or physical activity, garlic still serves as a reliable supportive factor. Regarding the body's natural detoxification functions, especially in the liver, garlic is valued for its sulfur-containing compounds. These compounds support processes that already exist within the body, helping the handling and removal of certain unwanted substances become more efficient. This is why, in many cultures, garlic often appears in meals considered helpful for recovery after periods of fatigue. For men, garlic is frequently mentioned in relation to blood circulation and endurance. This influence is not stimulatory in nature, but instead supports the physiological foundation through improved circulation and overall body condition. This approach aligns with the traditional philosophy of garlic use, focusing on sustainability rather than immediate stimulation. The common point among all these benefits is that garlic does not function as a quick solution. Its value appears when it becomes a natural part of the diet. That quiet and consistent presence is what has kept garlic connected to human life for so long. And to make proper use of these benefits, the way garlic is used in daily meals becomes very important. The way garlic is used directly influences the value the body receives from it. Garlic can be consumed in many forms, and each method creates different effects. Understanding this allows garlic to play its supportive role properly rather than becoming an uncontrolled habit. One of the most common ways to use garlic is to chop or crush it and add it to dishes. When garlic is cut or crushed, the cell structure breaks, allowing active compounds to form. For this reason, many experienced cooks often let garlic rest for a few minutes after chopping before cooking it. This short period allows the biological reactions to occur more completely before heat alters their structure. Garlic can also be used raw, usually combined with cold dishes or mixed with other foods. This method preserves more active compounds, but it is not always suitable for sensitive digestive systems. For people prone to stomach irritation, raw garlic consumption should be adjusted in both amount and frequency. When cooked, garlic becomes milder in aroma and flavor. Although some heat-sensitive compounds are reduced, cooked garlic becomes easier to eat and easier for many people to tolerate. For this reason, in everyday cuisine, garlic is often used in a balanced way between nutritional value and eating comfort. Beyond direct cooking, garlic is also preserved with other ingredients for longer use. One familiar example is garlic soaked in honey, commonly used to support health during periods when the body feels fatigued. However, such preparations should be viewed as supportive rather than replacements for a balanced diet. It is also important to note that even though garlic offers many benefits, consuming excessive amounts does not create better results. Using large quantities of garlic over long periods may cause digestive discomfort, affect breath, and reduce eating enjoyment. For individuals who are taking medications or dealing with specific health conditions, adjusting garlic intake within the diet becomes necessary. Ultimately, the value of garlic does not lie in using a lot of it or following a rigid formula. Its value lies in how it is included in meals regularly, moderately, and appropriately for each individual. And when we look back at the entire journey of garlic, from history and science to modern life, it becomes clear that the meaning of this small bulb goes far beyond the role of a simple seasoning. In the modern world, where food has become increasingly diverse and complex, garlic still quietly holds its place. It does not need to be labeled as a trend or given glamorous names. Garlic exists because it has proven its value over time, from ancient civilizations to the kitchens of families today. Looking back at the entire journey, it becomes clear that garlic does not stand out because it provides large amounts of energy, or because it delivers instant results. Its value lies in endurance, a small food used in moderate quantities, yet closely connected to human health and daily life for generations. Over thousands of years of selection and use, humans did not keep garlic because of blind belief, but because accumulated experience showed that it truly offers benefits. In modern meals, garlic continues to serve as a bridge between cuisine and health. It reminds us that not everything important needs to be dramatic. Sometimes the quiet and familiar elements are the very foundations that help the body function more steadily each day. When garlic is placed properly within the diet, not too much and not too little, it becomes a natural part of a sustainable lifestyle. And that may be the simplest reason why, after all the changes of time, garlic still remains present on the human table.